Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Leader's Edge, Season 3, Episode 10. And I'm very excited tonight. You know, we have a great speaker, somebody who I've known for a long time. Originally born in Sri Lanka, moved to the US for his higher education. And after earning a PhD in organic and polymer chemistry, he worked for 12 years as an industrial scientist, during which time he joined Toastmasters and discovered that he had the talent for public speaking and training. He was twice a finalist at Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking, placing second in the world in 1992. In 1996, he earned the designation of Accredited Speaker, Toastmasters International highest recognition of professional level speaking skills. In 2005-2006, Dilip, or Dr. Dilip, served as International President of Toastmasters International, giving him a platform to inspire and lead this international organization dedicated to communication and leadership development. He served as a strategic advisor for Central Penn College president for 15 years and was a consultant on executive communication for several CEOs. Encountering a call to ministry, he earned a Master of Divinity degree, and he is now serving as a full-time pastor of a church in Pennsylvania. To talk about mentorship, a key to creating a lasting legacy as a leader. It's a topic that's very close to me, really. May I present to you Dr. Dilip Abayasekara, PhD, MDiv, Distinguished Toastmaster, Accredited Speaker, past International President. Good evening, Dr. Dilip.
Good evening,
Michael. See you again. Yeah.
Yes, Mike Chua, I remember you from many international conventions.
Wow. Long time ago. Your topic is something very dear to my heart, Dr. Dilip. I just recently published a book entitled Ready to Serve. And it's about mentorship awareness. I want to learn more about this topic from you. I'm really looking forward to be learning so many tips and tricks from you. So
thank you,
wow.
Mike, and I'm sure I can learn a lot from you too, because learning never stops.
Learning never stops. Yeah. So go ahead, Dr. Dilip.
Well, I'm very excited to be with you and this wonderful audience that will be watching this. I'm going to switch now to the slides to share screen. Why leadership successes are often temporary. And you see the chessboard with the white king fallen down there. That's a loss. Why leadership successes are often temporary. This I'm sharing from one of the painful moments of my life. I had just led District 18 to incredible success. For many years before I became a district governor of Toastmasters District 18, those days they were called district governor, now they're called district directors. We had not been even distinguished, which is kind of the lowest mark for excellence for a district. We had not even been distinguished for something like 6 years. And then when I became district governor, I swore to myself that we would not be mediocre, that we would rise to the heights. And I had 2 good lieutenant governors working with me. We had all the area governor positions filled, where we worked hard, and we came in number 4 in the world, President's Distinguished. And I was walking on air. So happy. But then the next year, because I was immediate past district governor then, the next year, we were not distinguished. The following year, We were not distinguished. And I remember feeling so sick to my stomach that all that we had worked so hard and set up with excellence, nothing had moved forward beyond that. And I searched my heart, and I wasn't quite sure I had found what the answer was, because different people take leadership differently. Why couldn't the successive leaders following me have that same success? And I felt that I had failed. It was after I served as international president that my thought process led me to find out what was the key that was missing that year. The key that was missing was that I had not set up my leaders who were going to follow me. I had not set them up for success. I had not mentored them. You see, your legacy is measured not simply by what you accomplish when you are in office, it is also measured by the impact you've had on the next generation or generations of leaders. I had been thinking my legacy is measured by my success. That's only half of it. The other half is, have you set your successors up for success? Mike Chua, you are a business owner.
Yes.
And one of the
I am.
things that I learned, yeah, when I had my own business for 24 years, I had my own training and coaching business, is that I don't have a business if it ceases to function if I'm not around.
Mm.
I've got to set up processes and people so that even if I'm on vacation, my business is running smoothly.
Yes.
And it's the same way. Success, if you are just concerned only about yourself, okay, fine. But really, if you're concerned about the organization you're leading, set it up to succeed long after you are gone. That is what I call a legacy. So, mentorship, a key to a lasting legacy as a leader. That's the title of my presentation. And I hope that as we go through this, everyone will get some tidbits, some ideas, some golden nuggets that you know you can apply to your leadership position and possibility. You see, what I did not learn in leadership manuals and in workshops, and I read several books on leadership too, and I lectured on leadership, was that leadership is not just getting results. Leadership is also multiplication. What is multiplication? Leaders develop other leaders who also develop other leaders who develop other leaders. If you leave that happening when you leave your position, you have succeeded beyond yourself. Leaders affect their culture by being multipliers of leaders who catch the vision, values, and mission of the organization. If you're a club president, just because you have a president's distinguished club does not mean you have finished your work. Have you set up the incoming leaders to succeed? Have you set up systems? Have you made it easy for them to step in, put their own personality and style into it, but they should be set up for success. And how do you do that? By mentoring them while you are in a position of influence. So let's take a look at how this might happen. First of all, I just wanted to relate to something that most people probably do, and that is movies. Okay, here's Star Wars. Can you imagine what Luke Skywalker could have done if not for the help of Obi-Wan Kenobi? And Luke Skywalker became a Jedi Knight. Remember the movie Rocky? Where would have been without his trainer Mickey? Harry Potter, those who have read Harry Potter. Where would Harry be in his fight with the evil Lord without Dumbledore's friendship? And fairy tales. What would Cinderella have done without a fairy godmother? You see, everyone has a mentor somewhere along the way, or mentors along the way. Who shaped you as a leader? I ask you this for you to examine your heart, your mind, your memories. I probably won't be talking with you today about leadership, were it not for, and I've listed some of the great mentors of my life. My father and mother, Brevet Lieutenant Colonel M.K.J. Cantley, and he was my scout leader, scout master. Reverend Bob Fannin, who had a tremendous influence on me when I was a college student. He was the pastor of the church I attended. Later, he became a bishop. And past international president Ted Wood. Some of you might have had the honor of meeting him, and Ted had a tremendous effect on me. He was my greatest Toastmaster mentor. Who are your mentors? We may not have even thought about what they did as a mentor in terms of how they shaped us. But today is a time for us to reflect on that. And I want to go a little deeper into this subject of mentorship. So before we talk about mentors, we'll ask, why aren't more people mentoring others? And I think the biggest obstacle for that is what Dave Ferguson and Warren Bird talk in their book, The Hero Maker. They talk about that. They say that thinking that it's all about me, always wanting to be the hero, that is a problem. If you think you have to be the hero every time to your organization, that's going to prevent you from mentoring others. When you're trying to be a hero, you're not being a hero maker. See, the mindset of the mentor is they take delight in making heroes, in developing leaders. They are not seeking the spotlight on them. They are seeking to put the spotlight on others and develop them and bring them up. That's why when they leave the organization or leave that position as the leader, there are others who have been prepped to step up. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to step up to your position? Nothing is guaranteed in life, right? What happens if a bus hits you tomorrow? What's going to happen to your business, to your club, to your organization? Have you set it up? Right. So the biggest obstacle is always thinking, oh, it's got to be me. Spotlight is on me. I'm the hero. No, if you are focused on creating heroes, being a hero maker, then that means your heart is in the right place and people will know it and people will honor you because you show respect to them. You treat them with dignity and you raise them up. You challenge them. You make them believe in themselves and you develop them as leaders so that they take delight in the organization's mission and the vision and the purpose, and they see themselves as being part of that process. So you, as the leader, the primary influencer in that organization, are using your influence for the good of the organization.
I have a question, Dilip, just
Yeah.
to on that topic, on that issue. Do if you can reflect on this or it can help me here. Is it necessary does a hero maker need to be a hero first, in some way, a success first?
Yeah.
Because if you're not a success yourself, it's very hard to become a hero maker, right?
Exactly right. Exactly. So you are thinking ahead, Mike,
Oh,
because I'm going to show you what I call the bicycle model. that your personal excellence must come first. And
Yeah.
then people are interested in hanging around you and learning from you. But if you haven't demonstrated what you are trying to mentor others into doing or becoming, you won't be successful. You'll just be a mouthpiece
Mm.
whose words are bigger than their actions. Let your actions attract people. So, yes, success is important. What I'm talking about is today is the continued success of your organization after you leave, or after you lose that number one spot, after you retire, or after you step down. The continued success will depend on how you mentored others who come along. They don't have to be just like you. No, in fact, you want them to be their best selves. You bring them up to be their best selves, and you want them to do even better than you did. And then you know you've succeeded. Yeah. So that's the idea. And people often ask, well, if mentorship is that important, can you distill it down into some practices we can use? So yes, I have I have put 5 practices up on this slide. And first I want to give ownership to the authors of the book that they didn't talk about mentorship much, but they talked about, this was really meant for clergy. What they wrote was for religious leaders. And I read this book. It's called Hero Making by Dave Ferguson. And I saw parallels to any organization or business, not just a church. And I changed some of the churchy words. I changed it so that this can apply to any secular person listening to this. So I kind of borrowed their ideas and changed them to fit my message today. So the first part is multiplication thinking. You got to have your thinking affected if you're going to be a great mentor. Learn the art of permission giving, leader multiplying, gift activating, and mission focusing. Okay, so let's take a look at them one at a time. Multiplication thinking. This is basically just changing your focus from thinking about you to them, from my results to our results, my efforts alone to our collective efforts. You don't seek the spotlight always to be on yourself, but you love to put the spotlight on those you are mentoring, your mentees. And by the way, people you are mentoring can be labeled by different terms. Some in the US, frequently we use the word mentee. You can also use the word protege or mentoree, or anyone who is wanting to learn from you and learn with you, an apprentice. These all mean the same thing. Mentors create a platform and then invite others to stand on it, says Dave Ferguson, the author of the book, Hero Making. Mentors create a platform. See, you create a platform. That is your platform of excellence. That is what makes you influential. And then you invite others to stand on it. And then they discover that they can create even greater platforms if you did it right. That's number one. Number two is give permission giving. The leader, that's you, you look for leadership potential of people around you. And the way you look at them is look at them as leaders in development. There's an old saying, and it's one of my favorite sayings. If you want the world to change, look at the world with new eyes. Look at your people with new eyes. Now, if you have employees, not just as employees, but each person with unlimited potential and in slightly different ways, in unique ways that apply to them, How is your business utilizing that, tapping that? Are you helping develop that? And give means give permission to fully engage in the mission. They cannot fully engage in the mission if they don't know what the mission of your business is or your organization is. A Toastmasters, if they don't know the mission of your club, how can they be a good club officer? They must know the mission cold. You must be talking about it frequently. And you give them permission to fully engage. Then they will come up with their ideas and you become a permission giver. Lead with a yes. So when someone comes to you with an idea, it's natural for us to be a little cautious and say, because it wasn't our idea, say, how are you going to make that work? Or how much will that cost? Okay, so these squelch the idea generation that your mentees may have. So you always say yes and then lead into further discussion. Find out more. Figure out what resources they will need, what the investment will be. Figure out all those, but don't tell them no. If you don't see how it can be done now, there must be another way later. But you do not squelch them. So see, look, give, and lead, permission giving. I remember a while ago, while I was my second year as a pastor at the Vacation Bible School, there was a lady there that I had not met before, but I saw how she talked with the children. And it was just a very beautiful, soft way of talking with them that made children relax and want to learn, want to enjoy the moment. And I made a note of what I saw, and I knew it was just who she was. It came naturally. So later we were looking for people to give children's messages at our church. And I approached her and I told her, I heard you talking to the kids. I love the way you made them feel wanted and loved and safe and comfortable, and you opened them up. I think it'd be a natural to give a children's message. Would you consider that? And she looked at me surprised. No one had ever told her that before. And she said, yes, I'll do it. Not only did she do that, she also started recruiting other people to do children's messages. So you look for opportunities to give permission to tap people's unique potential, and you'll see what effect it has on your organization. The 4 most important letters for a mentor:
I see.
I see in you. You see that? I
Yes.
see in you. The best leaders look at the soul of a person and they see what could be. So their role is to bring that out of you. Their role is to bring that out of you. Plutarch, the great Greek philosopher, said, and I'm not using his exact words, but to paraphrase it, he said, a person is not a pail to be filled, but a fire to be lit. Okay? So when you're mentoring someone, you don't open their head and pour in facts and say, okay, you got it all, you'll be successful. No, you want to reach into their heart and light a fire with their own unique skill set. Then they'll be doing it for their reasons, not because you told them to.
Right.
Once they find their reason, then they will be on fire.
Yeah, I think Dr. Dilip, about mentoring, sometimes it's not putting you find the person complete already, or just guiding them, right? And bringing out what they already have and pushing them to the right direction.
You are right, Mike.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, when you said pushing them in the right direction, they have to be part of it too. They have to want it. Right. I never meant anyone who doesn't want it. I never force my services on anyone, but usually I hope that they come ask for it, or if they hang around, or if they appear eager to learn. then we talk more. And that's how I end up mentoring people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, that your remark reminded me of a quote I saw somewhere where it said, when you're mentoring, you're not pushing someone up the ladder. You know, you imagine pushing someone's behind as they're trying to climb.
Yeah.
No, you give them inspiration so that they reach higher, they pull harder, climb faster for their because of their own reason, not for your reason.
Yeah.
That's what it means here. Don't pour rich in and light. Help others succeed in their own way, in their roles. Share the values that you help, that you help, that help you succeed. So share your life principles. Tell your own story. And you can't do this unless you, and I'm using the Greek word diatribo. In the Gospel of Matthew, it says that Jesus took 12 disciples, 12 people with him, went up into the mountain and diatriboed with them. Diatribo is a Greek word meaning to rub off, to spend time rubbing off on each other. Right? This is why in many corporations, they have leadership retreats. They take the senior leaders off to some place far away from the
Yeah.
company headquarters. They learn to play together. They listen to talks. They listen to each other. They have fun. They bond. They eat together. Right. This is diatriboing. So if you want to mentor someone, obviously you've got to spend time with them. And if you are wondering why your mentoring is not having an effect, I'll give you a hint. It's about the relationship. Someone once asked me, what's the difference between a teacher and a mentor? A teacher focuses on the facts and gives them information. But a mentor draws them into that information and helps them make it their own. A mentor invests their life, their experiences, their wisdom into them. It's not just teaching.
A mentor is more like a coach, right?
But it is
Or
different. It
different.
is like a coach. There is a coaching aspect to mentoring, yes. But mentoring goes beyond that. I'll give you an example. One of my greatest mentors, as I mentioned, was Ted Wood, past international president. And when I was running for international director many years ago, there were some people in the district who had gone to Ted Wood and told him something negative about me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ted Wood was already a mentor for me, but he was a very influential person in our district. So, what did Ted Wood do? He invited me for coffee. We actually met for breakfast, and we talked. And he asked about that, and I honestly told him what the background for that was, and he listened. He said, "Aha, okay, now I understand. Now I get the full picture." He said, "You have my blessings for your run for ID." Okay, but if he was just a coach, that wouldn't have been coaching. This was mentoring, because mentoring is based on a relationship, and you can't build a relationship unless you diatribo, unless you spend time with people. I remember a time when I was lieutenant governor of marketing. That's the same thing as club growth director now. And my district governor and another division governor and I went off on a trip to the far corners of our district. It was several-hour drive for us, so we stayed overnight and we did club officer training in that division, which was far from where we lived. And because we stayed overnight, because we ate together, we joked together, we laughed together, we shared stories together, and we talked about our vision for the district together. We bonded. We became friends. We were not just people doing a job. We were doing a job we enjoyed, and we were doing a job that we enjoyed doing with people whose company we enjoyed. You follow? That's
Yeah,
what that mentor does.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah. So this is so important. Leader multiplying. When other people sense that your motivation is to help them succeed in their role, then they see you as, yes, a mentor. And they want to hang around you because they're not threatened by you. They don't see you as putting them down. They see you as a vital part of their success. That if they can learn from you, and then they can invest themselves in other people doing the same for others. So then they start developing other leaders. And soon you're multiplying leaders. Because, I believe that this mentorship, just like leadership, is first caught before it's taught. It's caught. It's caught by what emanates from you as a mentor. You are the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
mm,
You are the fairy godmother. One of my favorite movies, The Karate Kid. You're Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So let's go on to the little bit
Yeah,
next.
I'll save some of my questions later. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I want to share with you 5 steps of apprenticeship. Again, this is from Dave Ferguson's book. And I love this. And I have tried it. And I've seen others try it. And it works. I highly recommend it to you. If you are wondering, how do I help someone that I'm hoping to or trying to develop as a leader? How do I give them the confidence and the knowledge to do this new thing that they have never done before, that I know how to do? So this 5-step approach always seems to work. So you invite them to watch you as you do that. I do, you watch, and then we talk. Right? So, Mike, if we had done it together, I say, I do. Mike, watch. You don't have to say anything. Just
Yeah,
watch,
just watch.
observe, and we'll talk later. What do you think worked? What do you think did not work? How do you think we can improve it? And then engage you in that. Then the next time you say, well, I will do, but you can help me, okay? So how about you doing the opening, or you doing this part of the program? You do a small part, and you get that confidence. Then we'll talk later. And then you talk again. What worked? What didn't work? How can we improve it? Then the next time, say, you know what, Mike, I watched you. I saw you. You have the potential for this. You're going to love it. And they're going to love you. I have absolute confidence in you. You do, I help, we talk. Okay, so I'll just take this portion and that portion, but you do the rest of it, okay? Are you ready, Mike? My Mike will say, yeah, sure. Okay, so we do it. And then what happens is Mike's confidence goes up. He feels a sense of mastery of that material, how to do it. So the next time around for step 4, you do the whole thing. I'll just watch. You don't really need me, but I'll just watch. And then we'll talk later. And then based on what happens, if it's a success, if I feel Mike's confidence is there, Mike is excited about doing it this by himself, I say, you do it, Mike. I don't even have to be there. I am so proud of you. You've got this. Go do it. And I send a memo to everyone. Michael Chua is going to be handling this from now on. Uh, Please contact him for more information, whatever. Then Michael Chua, you become the go-to person for that. But it happened through a process.
Yeah.
Through a process that enabled you to not only master the material, but to have the confidence to do it.
And there's no time frame for this. It really just as a natural progression depending on how things go, right?
Exactly. Tell you a story about that. In a previous church, the senior pastor was really frustrated because she couldn't find anyone to lead a women's Bible study. So she was leading it herself, but she was very strung out. She needed someone else to take that over. So she talked to someone who had been coming to her Bible study and said, I've talked with you so much. I know that you can do this. But she said, oh, no, I can't. Believe me. I really can't. I've never done that. I'm not a public speaker. And so my friend, the senior pastor, said, it's all right. You don't have to be an expert on this. Tell you what, next time you watch carefully what I say, how I say it, how I engage the people. You watch the movie that we are going to play, and then you watch the questions that I ask after that. You watch what I'm doing, and we'll talk, and then we'll see if we might go a little further. So that happened. And after that talk, she felt a little more comfortable. And then my friend, the senior pastor, said, now, next time I'll be doing it, but would you consider doing this part of it? That's all, just a little part. And then we'll talk later. I said, okay. And they followed this step. Within a few months, that young woman had stepped up and she became the leader for that activity because they had followed this process. It's a very natural process. It's not forced on someone. And you have a chance if you make a mistake and you judge the person wrong and they are the wrong person for it, after step one, after that discussion, you can knock that off without investing more time. You want to lead people to develop them gradually in a way that they can handle themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So pull out, don't push in. I love this quote by Steven Spielberg. The delicate balance of mentoring someone is not creating them in your own image, but giving them the opportunity to create. So you're not squelching someone. You're not asking them to be just like you, but you are giving them the opportunity to use what they have. The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own, said Benjamin Disraeli, long ago the Prime Minister of Great Britain. The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches. I said, pour yourself, diatriba with them, not just your riches, but to reveal to him his own. Make this an opportunity for self-discovery. Then they own it. Otherwise, they are just borrowing your words and your wisdom. Yeah, help them to gradually own it. And you'll see a tremendous, tremendous light come into them. They enjoy what they're doing. They excel in what they're doing. And then they start mentoring others. So this is the bicycle wheel that I like, that I got from Dave Ferguson's book, Hero Making. You see the two pedals in a bicycle?
Yeah.
How effectively can you ride a bicycle if you have only one pedal to push? Not very, right? You got to push and wait for the pedal to come back up, push again, right? But if you have two pedals, this is how you can leave a lasting legacy. First, you got to have your own excellence.
Yeah.
You've got to have excellence personified. That attracts people to you. You become a center of influence. People want to know how you did it. And they admire you, they respect you, they give you credibility because of your excellence. That gives you the in to influence them, to mentor them. And it's a natural process. Then you become multiplying. So excellence and multiplication. That's how the bicycle wheel moves forward. Two pedals. Most of the time in leadership courses, we learn excellence. That's what I had learned when I became district governor. That's why we became President's Distinguished, not just because of me, but because I had a whole team of people working together. But it never occurred to me that I needed to multiply myself because I did not mentor them. Later, I heard they did many mistakes, but I thought, but didn't they learn that they shouldn't do it? No, we never even discussed those things because I had not been mentoring them. I've been telling them how to do their job in their respective role and help them succeed, but I didn't multiply myself. Both excellence and multiplication must go together. But excellence comes first, then multiplication, then it continues. That's how you lead your organization forward. So, those of you who are listening and watching, ask yourself, how are you on the excellence wheel? Yeah, we all always can improve. So, keep doing that. But then at the same time, who do you have within your sphere of influence that you can mentor, that you can help them succeed in their role? But it's not just succeeding in their role, they must catch the vision, they must understand the mission, they must get the joy that they have in doing the work of that organization. So that is absolutely essential because if they don't have that, then all they know is just the usual stuff. I'm supposed to do this. This is my role. These are my duties. It has to go far beyond that. Take a look at the club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. What if every club officer in your Toastmasters club takes that to heart? Then they ask themselves, by what I do and say, am I providing a supportive and positive learning experience? Am I helping that happen in my club? Am I empowering members to develop communication and leadership skills? Am I encouraging them, supporting them? Am I seeing greater self confidence and personal growth happen among our members? Be mission focused. And we are going to come back to that later. But you see how excellence and multiplication work. It's not just being excellent. Oh, my job is to be president, so I'll start the club meeting on time. I'll invite guests to continue to come back to the club and join the club. I'll create a positive atmosphere. But what are the results? Are people taking risks? Are people volunteering to give speeches? If not, are they not sensing a supportive, positive club environment? What can I do to better foster that? They ask questions based on the purpose for that organization. Number 4 is gift activating. Notice and commend the strengths. And very often people don't know their strengths. Encourage them to find their strengths. Marcus Buckingham and Donald Clifton wrote a book called Now Discover Your Strengths. If you've never done a DISC analysis, that is your behavioral styles, do a DISC analysis, understand yourself better, encourage them to find these out. And they must also, as they find that out, be aware of their weaknesses and know that they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to do everything by themselves. Learn the power of delegation. Tell you, on the DISC style, I'm a high D and high I. That is, I'm very task oriented, but I also love people. Okay, I'm a DI.
Yeah.
But I'm low on SNC. And C is very detail oriented.
Yeah.
So guess what? I have held every position in Toastmasters in the club level except for treasurer. I didn't want it. Too many details. So I delegated. I always delegated. In my own business, I got someone who was good with figures to be my accountant. Okay? You delegate those tasks that you are not very good at. And you don't want to expend a lot of time trying to be good at them because there are people who are naturally good at them. Use them. get their expertise. Give them your personal blessing. Give them your personal blessing means make sure they know that you got their back. You really believe in them. You want them to succeed. And if they make a mistake, like I told you about that time Ted Wood and I got together and Ted wanted to talk with me, I knew I had his personal blessing that allowed me to talk openly for him to understand some things, then for me to move forward from there. There are two past international presidents that I have mentored in various ways. And interestingly, both of them who are not of my religion, they're not Christians, they asked me for my personal blessing on them, which showed to me how much they valued knowing that I was 100% behind them and I believed in them. So I gave them my blessing, my faith blessing. In fact, I prayed with one of them before the international business meeting where he was elected president. He asked for a private prayer with me. That's how deep we went into our mentorship, our mentor-mentee role. Then you start making things happen in your organization. But in order to effectively mentor, there has to be a focus on mission. Know and focus on the mission. Take the distractions away. We have enough to do without doing things that don't matter to the mission. If anything does not matter to the mission, don't invest time and energy on it. I remember one district leader, when I was international director, this leader thought it would be cool to raise a lot of money for his district by having an art show. Art show has nothing to do with Toastmasters. But he knew someone at an art gallery and they put on an art show and invited people to come see it and they used the admission money. He said, we can raise a lot of money. But my thinking was, you raise money for a club or for a district by really building membership because every member who joins brings in money. So focus on membership building because that's part of your mission as a district. Because the district mission says we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. So you help clubs bring in members, but you don't put on an art show to raise money for the district. They forgot what they were about. So there are examples all around. Some of you who are listening to me are Toastmasters, who are district officers in clubs, who are club officers, area officers, division officers, district officers. Ask yourself, what is the mission and what am I doing directly to help it? And what am I doing directly to help people who are making things happen? So the club president, for example, asks, how can I help my VPE be more effective? First of all, I want to ask you, do you know your VPE? Have you ever had private one-on-one time with your VPE? No? Well, you can't do mentoring without diatribing, without rubbing off on each other, right? So you got to spend time with your officers. And as you do that, you realize that mentoring is relationship based. Teaching is there's the teacher and the pupil, teacher and the student. But a relationship of trust happens over time because you purposefully want that person to succeed and you pour yourself into that person. And you make sure they are invested in the mission of the organization. So I'm going to stop here. Our time is getting short for any Q&A that you may have.
Wow. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Dilip. A lot of thought-provoking ideas here, which made me think of my own experiences. And let me just bring up a couple of things. You touch a lot about the Toastmasters organization, and while the audience here is not are not all Toastmasters, it's a mix. But since we're both Toastmasters, I have a question that I'd like you to share what your thoughts are on this. As past district leaders, okay, sometimes there's a fine line between how we mentor or act as mentors when our terms are done. And there are some leaders who define mentorship as still being part of the leadership team, to the point that they are still mandating and acting as if they're still the leaders or on top. Where where is how do we as past leaders, how do we define where mentorship starts
Yes.
and where actual leading stops?
Yes. Very good question. As I mentioned before, I never mentor someone who doesn't want to be mentored. So, so mentoring happens because both people want to do it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a wise mentor knows when to let the mentee go. Um, it's like parents bringing up children. Uh, Someone used the analogy of flying a kite, and the kite goes up and up and up, and you feel the tug of the wind, and then at some point, this is like raising a child. And when the tug at the right moment, you know the kite is ready to go off on its own. It does not need to hold it by a thread. A wise mentor knows when to let go. A wise mentor lets go at the right time, because that person, usually the signs are that person starts mentoring others. Then you've done your job
Yeah.
and you let go, and you let them know you know how to reach me.
Mm.
Ted Wood was just like that.
Mm. Yeah.
Same thing with one of the mentors I was fortunate in Toastmasters to have, Brooks Loomis.
Yeah.
Before Brooks married Dina, he was district governor of District 18, and I was just an area governor, area director. But I noticed the special interest Brooks showed in me, and we became friends.
Mm.
I remember how good I felt that our district governor took a personal interest in me, and that remained in my mind. But then ultimately Brooks moved away, but he never tried to push himself. He provided information, guidance, encouragement when it was wanted, and then he stepped back. Ted Wood was the same way. And I remember Ted Wood coming to me. Because of Ted Wood, I got into leadership because I had competed twice at the world championship level. I came in second. I wanted to go one more time and win it. And he said, Dilip, this was a private chat. He said, Dilip, we need you in leadership. He looked at me and then walked away. He wasn't going to argue about it. He knew I wanted to compete again. I was thinking of it. But because it was Ted, my valued mentor, who said that, I thought, yeah, you know what? Toastmasters is not all about winning more trophies, winning more titles. I think in leadership, I get a chance to give back to this organization, which has given me so much. And I
Wow.
saw that in Ted Wood. Yeah.
That nugget that you just shared, I think I have to make sure a lot of the Toastmasters in the organization hear about it, because there are so many potential leaders who refuse to take leadership roles because they just want to compete.
Yeah.
But my take on that, if I may share, is that sometimes it's all about rapport, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
the mentor and the mentee, it's about relationship and rapport, and the
Right.
handing over more responsibility and more empowerment to the mentee is about confidence. It's about confidence to the mentee, right? And I'd like to reflect and ask you, because our organization in Toastmasters, this is a non-profit organization. How well does this apply also in organizations or corporations where the 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 potential prodigy or the mentee that you're looking at is actually somebody under your employ. So you're looking at that person, uh, he's salaried, he's being paid, and you're identifying him to be part of your success planning. What are the things that you look for that will make you say, ah, this is a special person that I would like to pay more attention to as a mentee? What are the qualities or the characteristics that you look for, Dr. Dilip, when you're trying to look and identify potential mentees or prodigies?
So I go back to something that Aristotle said about persuasive speaking. He said there are three aspects to a great speech: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos refers to the messenger, the person. And he talked about character, competence, and caring. And I find those three are exactly what I look for when I'm looking at a mentoring relationship. Character. If I have an employee, do they have integrity? Is their word their bond? Second, competence. Do they have the basic skills to succeed? Yes, they can shine later. But right now, if they don't have the basic skills, there's no sense in trying to treat them calculus if they don't know arithmetic. So do they have the competence? And third, do they care about others? Do they care about this organization, to this company? Do other people who hear him talk about my company, our company, do they sense that he has pride in it and he cares about it? Then if he does, if he has character, competence, and caring, then I'm ready to pour myself into developing him further. Right. Otherwise, you can get burned. You do it to the wrong
True.
person too many
Yes.
times. Yeah.
Yes.
You have only
And
limited time.
yeah. And not
Yeah.
only that, if they go in a different direction, they can actually hurt your own reputation and legacy, right, Dr. Dilip?
Exactly. In
Yeah.
a business context, Mike, it can be someone who learns as much as they can from you and then leaves the organization and joins a rival organization. And they're
Or
giving
become
them everything that
yeah,
they knew
or
about
become
your
the
business.
competitor himself. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
That can
That's why
happen.
character is important.
Character is most
Character,
important. Yeah.
character, competence,
Integrity,
and
right? That's
care.
your number
Yeah,
one. Yeah. I think that
right.
I agree with you fully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're running short of time. Dr.
Okay.
Dilip, this has been very, very insightful, and I wish we had more time. Maybe Dinah can invite you for more sessions in the future for Leaders Edge. Do you have
Maybe.
any final message that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yes, I actually had prepared a, a few slides as a final message. Let me show that to you.
Yes, please.
So, a final word, kind of summarizing. I know there's a lot of words on the screen, but I'll read them out to you. A final word is first, you must have excellence and character. And because you have those, you have credibility. That leads to respect, which leads to results, which leads to attracting others who are open to your influence. Then you mentor them, mentorship. You develop leaders who develop leaders who develop leaders, and goes on. So your legacy is that excellence that you started, but that continues on with others that you have mentored. So your legacy is the gift not only you give to your organization, but your legacy is the gift you give to the world. That
Wow,
is the
that's
legacy.
wonderful. That's
Yes.
wonderful.
And
Dr.
Mike, I'm
Dilip,
leaving my
yeah.
contact information.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so there it is on the screen. Dr. Dilip LLC, and my website, my telephone number. And if you wonder where I'm going to be speaking next, as I mentioned, I'm pastor at a church in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, Catawissa Avenue United Methodist Church. And every Sunday, you can catch my sermons on Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah.
Our services at 10 o'clock on Sunday.
Eastern
And
time, right? So that means it's around 10 p.m. here.
yeah,
Or
that's right.
thereabouts. Yeah. Yeah. It's evening. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm giving lots of other talks, but I don't know how well the hosts of those talks are set up to receive extra guests. So I won't give that, but
Yeah,
you
but
can
if you
catch
have
me on.
information that you can share with us in the future, and we'll post it up to the group as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So that again is my information. I want to thank the Leaders Edge, especially Dina Loomis, Mike Chua, Dino Loomis, and everyone else who made it possible for me to interact with you, to share with you. And I personally am invested in you because Brooks Loomis and Dina Loomis were always special in my sight. And District 75 is a great organization. Uh, as you know, Powie is a special friend of mine, and I had the pleasure of coming to District 75 many years ago to keynote when Powie was district governor. But I wish you all the best. You guys are doing a tremendous job. The Philippines and Southeast Asia is the better because of you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Dr. Dilip. A round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Season 3, Episode 10 by Dr. Dilip. Because here in Leaders Edge, learning is a never-ending journey with limitless vistas. Tune in to our next episode in Season 3, Episode 11 with Joel Kakanindin from Unilab. His topic, Swim with the Sharks, the journey of Unilab from good to great. Good evening, everyone. Have a great one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.